Hey everyone, this is going to be a quick guide for the new raid in Epic 7. Currently, I've cleared every boss on global except for Queen. Um, so we're just going to go through first and show all the positionings. So first off, Devourer is in this corner here. Executioner is going to be in this corner here. If we go down to down there, it's Secretary Vera. And the last one in the corner here is the Jubilee Council. So the first boss I'm going to talk about is actually the Jubilee Council. Um, Basically, it's a heavy poison debuff fight. Uh, so it's pretty good if you can run two healers. I ran two healers and two DPS that have some AoE. Basically, how the phase goes is you fight him, he's pretty easy, and then at about 70%, he splits into a bunch of different little bugs, and you want to kill the bugs as fast as possible. And they do a lot of poison stacks. You may get like 4 or 5 stacks on your guys, so if you have Destina or someone who can cleanse, it would be really good to bring them along. And then if you want to, you can also save your souls, try and use one of your summons for that fight during the transitions. Then there's also one thing you need to know about that is if you debuff him, he can absorb all the debuffs, cleanse them on himself, and give himself a big shield. So bringing a bunch of debuffers isn't exactly the best idea unless you want to just focus their debuffs. If you have someone like Bale, just focus the debuffs when the ads come out for AoE. Then at 40%, he's going to split again, rinse and repeat, and then you should have boss kill on him. I have a video if you want to look on my channel for the kill. And then the next one we're going to go over is Secretary Vera. So Secretary Vera, again, is in this corner here. And if you have any fire units, it's recommended because he's a lot easier if you have a ton of DPS. And what you want to do is I had a lot of fire DPS, so this fight was really easy for me. You want to kill his eggs first off, and then keep on damaging him. His really main mechanic comes if you don't have enough DPS to kill the eggs. Once you get him to a certain percent, he's going to go into a cocoon. Now, it's imperative that you kill this cocoon as quick as possible. He's going to summon a couple ads. I mistakenly attacked those ads, but if I just focused him and got him out of the cocoon, it would have been even easier for me because he gets a stacking debuff when he's in the cocoon. So if he comes out, he has the stacking debuff and it keeps on stacking. So you want to DPS him down at that point. It's a race against time for him to basically start one-shotting you. But he's pretty easy, to be honest, if you have enough DPS and can front-end it, especially if you have some fire heroes. They're high DPS. So that's that boss, and I have a video on him too. So the next one I'm going to talk about is Executioner Carcanus. Now, I didn't have a silence with him. Apparently, if you silence him, he doesn't do his attack. But he's got some really nasty attacks. And he's got 2 ads. You don't attack the ads. They're just going to debuff you. They're going to try and taunt you. So they're just annoying little ads. And then there's him. And at about 70%, he's going to attack you. And then he's going to go into stealth. So you need to make sure that you have at least 1 or 2 AoEers. Because if he stays in stealth for too long, what happens is he gets a stacking buff. Now, what I usually did is I saved my AoE DPS, and once he went into stealth for the first time, I basically did the AoE, and then what I did is I had all my souls stacked up, and I burned him with defense break as quick as possible took a couple tries. I just had to get everything lined up, my crits and everything, and then I was able to take him down. He's probably the hardest boss I fought so far. And then Devour Arakan, or whatever his name is in this corner here. Now, he was a pretty easy boss for me. What I ended up doing was he has a bunch of ads, and if you focus, what you do is at least for me, there's a couple different strategies you can use. You can leave one ad up and try and DPS him, but he gets a stacking buff. Another more DPS heavy strategy, which I brought 3 DPS for, was I DPS'd him when he didn't have his stacks and did AoEs, brought a heavy AoE team, and then once he was at full stacks, I killed the ads right away when he was just about to get full stacks. So it kind of worked out in my transitions. The one thing that I did too was I didn't want any buffers, because as soon as he does his special, he removes all your buffs. So I just was kind of like, okay, it's not really worth it. I'm going to go for just a solid healer who I had Destina, which, probably one of the best healers for this fight. And then do a kind of DPS window. When I got an armor break, I would start using all my souls and just mow him down. Another strategy is to leave one up and try and kill him while the buff stacks. Well, there's only one ad up, but to each their own. That's kind of the strategy I used. For each of these bosses, Devourer I used 3 DPS, Executioner I used 3 DPS, used 2 heavy healers for Secretary, and Jewel Veal Council. And that's the end of my guide. If you have any questions or comments, just put them below. And if you want me to edit this video and show some footage and go over it, I could, but just let me know in the comments if anyone would like to see that. Okay, thanks for watching, and hope all you are progressing nicely through the raid. I'm hoping to try and get Queen down next week, maybe the end of this week, but we'll see how it goes. Bye.